Welcome to April and the first of the month. All right. Now, this is something that I am going to start doing regularly on the first of the month. If the first falls on a weekend, then we'll do it on the first, like Monday after the new month, just so that we can get into a really good habit of setting our goals, writing our goals down, making sure they're reasonable goals, and then putting them into execution. Now, I'm a huge believer of goal setting, but if you don't know me 4 years ago, or you didn't even know me like 2 years ago, you would think, oh, that's nice for her. Like that's just her personality to be a goal setter. And that assumption would be wrong. So I am not a goal setter. I hate writing down goals. It's pretty much the worst torture you could inflict on me would be to tell me to write down my goals. When Sean and I were very first married, he grew up writing goals. That was like what his family did. They love to sit down and write goals. I'm trying to look for the podcast episode that I did on this. It was Write Your Goals Down. And I thought maybe I'd have some notes in my book about it, but I don't. So sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so Sean grew up writing goals. I didn't, because goals make me uncomfortable. If I write them down, then I have to be accountable to them. And that's uncomfortable for me. And I know that I shared this with you on the announcement for this call, but I always have felt like, well, I don't want to write them down because that's too much commitment. And if I write them down, then everyone will know, especially me, that I really want this. And then what if I don't achieve it? Like, what does that say about me if I write a goal down and I don't achieve it? Raise your hand or put in the comments if you feel that way about goal setting, like I did. Yep, that shows me that I am not alone. Most people feel this way about goal setting. Like, this is how most people feel. And so when I first started Plexus 4.5 years ago, I was like, the way that I really showed this was I would say, oh, I'm not really working a business. I'm not selling this. I'm just sharing it. I'm not really doing it. Like, just, I'm not really doing this for real. Like, I'm just helping people, right? Like, we'll see where it goes. Because for me, it was easier for me to say that than it was for me to say, I am all in. I am doing this. I am committed, right? So when I got to Emerald, I finally decided I should buy a planner. Like, maybe I should buy a planner and I should maybe do this more seriously, right? And I honestly don't know, you guys, like how I made it to Emerald without a planner. I do know I had incredible leaders who all had planners, all of them, right? So I just want to let you know that as someone who used to hate setting goals, was afraid of setting goals, you too can become like me and love them, understand them, appreciate them, value them, and see the need of them. But the biggest thing that I feel like when you go to write goals, the place where you have to get your mindset in check is around the fear of failing, okay? Because when you write the goal down, it doesn't count if you know it's in the bag. That's not a goal that's going to push you to a higher level, because that's the other thing that I used to do is I was like, fine, I'll write my goals down. My goal is to hold diamond this month. Okay. So that's laughable because I've literally hit diamond the first time. And then I've had 3,000 points over diamond for a very long time. Like, me saying that my goal is to re-rank diamond is not a goal that makes sense, because I don't have to try to earn it. Okay. So that's the number one thing that I want you to write down as you consider goals is it doesn't count as a goal if you don't have to work for it. If it doesn't require you to stretch a little bit more than you would have. If it's just naturally, if every single month you enroll 3 people without doing anything, then enroll 3 people cannot be your goal. It cannot be. Because if that's easy for you and that's something that you do really easily, then it's not something that's going to push you to change. Goals should push you to change, or they're not, or they're not going to work, or it's pointless for writing them down. Okay. So something that is really hard for me is to enroll 3 people and get 1, 2, 3 of them to silver. That is still really hard for me. So when I really have accountability for what I want to see happen in my business, I will write down something and I'll say, my goal is to personally sponsor 3 people and I want 2 of them to go silver, fast start silver, if you want to get really detailed, right? So what I want to start off by, we're going to do this in 2 chunks. We're going to have the writing our goals down for the first 10 minutes. And then the second 10 minutes, we're going to talk about how your actions need to line up with your goals. And that's the part that we're actually going to spend the next 30 days helping you achieve, because it's going to take 30 days to do it, right? So some ideas for some goals that you might want to make for yourself. Re-ranking your highest rank, personally sponsoring a number that you don't usually do, turning people into silver, 2 or 3 of them into silver. It doesn't have to be a level 1. You could say just anyone on my team, help anyone on my team, 3 people achieve silver. It would be great if they were level 1s, but sometimes you have a level 1 that connects you to someone and you help them go silver and you're the one doing the work. That would count. Now, if your level 1 worker's doing all the work and they develop the silver without you, that doesn't count, right? See the difference there? Because as humans, we always look for the easiest way out. Your brain is programmed to do that, right? You've heard me talk about this before. Your brain is programmed to do 3 things. That is, help you avoid discomfort, seek pleasure, and save energy. Well, hot damn, it's a good thing you picked network marketing for a business so you don't get to slip into any of those things, because this business will not allow you to slip into those 3 things and still be successful, right? Even if you have a lot of natural success in the business, at some point, those 3 things will get in your way from growing and becoming more successful. Agree? I have no idea what's going on behind me and I don't even want to turn around and look. Grandma is here. Okay, that's great. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay, put it right there. We'll look at it later. Close my office door. Okay. I love having my kids home and homeschooling, and so great. Okay, so my goal for this call was for no kids to come in, and I even paid my 10-year-old $5 to make sure that happened. I just had 3 of the 4 kids come in and a dog. So, you know, it was a good goal. My actions were I'll pay her to follow through. And yeah, I'm not giving her money. She just lost $1. Okay, so wouldn't it be nice if that's how our teams worked, right? Like if so-and-so didn't hit her goal, I'm taking $1 from her. It doesn't work that way, right? Okay, so our goals have to be, we have to write down goals that are challenging, because very naturally our brain is going to want to avoid the discomfort of even writing it down, because when you write down a goal, most people are uncomfortable when they do that. So that's okay if you feel that way. That's totally normal, all right? What I want you to do is get a piece of paper, or what I like to do is in my planner, there's always a page at the beginning of the month where it says like April goals or a blank page. If you don't have that in your planner, you can just get a blank piece of paper. But this is where I write mine down. And in this one, I just got this planner from Michael's. It even has this whole square for goals right here, okay? But if you don't have that in your planner or you don't have a planner yet, I would, number one, encourage you to go on Amazon today and get yourself a really inexpensive planner. They'll ship it to you and it will come on your door, and within the next 48 hours, you will have a planner. And so if you don't have a planner right now, or your planner doesn't have a page to write goals, just get a blank piece of paper and then you can just staple it into your planner. You can cut it down to size so it fits, and you can staple it in or tape it in or whatever you want to do. Or you can tape it on the wall.
She needs to be stepped down.
Okay, do not come in here. It's your job to watch the
I
dog.
don't want to step her down.
I know.
I didn't want to watch the dog. I only wanted to watch Dean.
So good. So awesome. I love it. Okay, just get the leash for me if you want me to do it. So great. Hope you guys are having a good day. Okay, so we're gonna write our goals down now, okay? Hopefully without like tons of interruptions from here on out. So goals that you might wanna consider writing down. Re-ranking your current rank. If you are holding your current rank, or if you re-ranked last month, what I would also, please close the door. What I would also like you to do, if you re-ranked last month and it was hard, then what I would encourage you to do is try to go, 10, 15, 20 points beyond what you had to push really hard to do in March. Does that make sense? If you did not hit your goal of re-rank in March, like let's say you missed it by like 5 or 10 points, then you might be tempted to just say, same goal, gonna try and get to gold again, or gonna try and get my 100 points. But what if you set the goal to get 2 more than your goal? Like what if your goal was to hit gold and you missed it, and then you could say, I'm gonna do gold and I'm gonna get an extra 10 points on top of it, right? So make it just a little bit more. If you just barely missed it last month, make it a teensy bit more. If you made a goal last month and you like missed it by a landslide, then what we need to look at, and we'll talk about this later, is were your actions in line with the goal that you set, okay? And we'll talk about that in a minute, but right now we're just gonna write down our goals. So re-rank goals, rank up goals for yourself. That's what we're gonna write first. If you are like in my situation, like I really wanted to get Sean to Sapphire this month, and I have been unsuccessful at making a point growth progress on that. And so what I'm gonna try and do is, instead of getting him from 1,500 points to 3,000, I'm gonna say my goal is to get him to 1,800 points this month. So that would be like it would be a 250 point growth for him this month, which will be extremely challenging for me, but I'll show you how we're gonna get that growth and break it down, okay? So whatever your goals are, sorry that my dog, it's because my mom is here curbside. I told her she has to stay 6 feet away, but my dog is obsessed with her. So she's having a panic attack over here because she can't jump on my mom. Okay, so my goals, for example, it's gonna be Sean, team, 1,800 points. Now, one thing that I used to do to myself in this situation is my original goal for April for him was 3,000. So maybe you had a goal to like hit Emerald this month and you're not even close. Or maybe you had a goal to hit Senior Ruby or whatever, and you're like, oh, I am like not even close to where I should have been. I don't even know why I'm trying, right? Like that's where I used to go when I had big goals that I couldn't just naturally get, or goals that took longer than I wanted them to take. So what I will caution you in is I could look at that and say, wow, I was really hoping we'd be at 3,000 points at the end of April, but I need to readjust my goal. And I'm not going to shame myself for that. I'm not going to have judgment of myself for that. I'm just going to say, you know what? 1,800 points sounds really good right now. Like, I will be thrilled if we end the month at 1,800 points. That'll be a 250 point growth for his team. And it will be one of his highest point months ever. So I think that's something to really to celebrate and be happy about, right? So wherever you are with your business, I want you to avoid shaming yourself or judging yourself for where you think you should be right now, and just leave the drama out. Because all that is drama in your brain getting in your way of going forward. And today, on the first of the month, you have the power to decide that this is going to be a drama-free month in your brain, and you're just going to get to work and do your best. And if you finish the month doing your best, and you know your actions were in line with your goals, then you got to be proud of whatever you accomplished. And that's how I felt last night. I just felt like, you know what? My points didn't necessarily end where I wanted them to end, but my team and my leaders ended. They like blew it out of the water with their energy and engagement and excitement and leadership. So sometimes we have to just recognize that our goals aren't always necessarily about achievement. Sometimes it's about effort, okay? So gratitude. All right, so I want you to write down 3 or 4 goals for yourself this month. And if you're feeling up to it, please share in the comments so that we can all see and also get ideas for what our goals should be. And if you're a gold ambassador, you can't say diamond. Like, does that make sense? Like, you have to set realistic goals, right? So please share in the comments. Hopefully Cosette will stop whining. Okay, and then I'm gonna do 3 level 1s with a focus of 2 level 1 silvers. That's really what I want to achieve this month. But if you don't have a giant team of thousands of people that you take care of every day, it's probably undershooting to say 3 level 1s and 2 silvers. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, oh, I heard Emily's goals. Those are good enough for me. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want it to be good enough for someone else. I want to know what your heart really wants to achieve this month and what would challenge you this month. Like what is going to stretch you and change you into a different person. Those are the goals that we want to see here. Okay, so Jossie says re-rank gold with 15 points above 100. That's awesome. Personally enroll 4. Help my new fast start silver get her $100. So that would be to enroll 2 more people for her, right, Jossie? Yes. I would also say, and I know it's not my job to give you goals, but when anyone goes silver, my goal for them for the next month is always super silver, which is what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so goals for self is first, and then we're going to set goals for team next. So you guys did this right because I said goals for self. All right, so Lauren says going for 140 points. March was 110, 5 level 1s and 2 silvers. That's fantastic, Lauren. Dory, I want to personally sponsor 3 new level 1s and develop a silver. So many sticks in the fire, Dory. I know you're going to be able to do this. Want to achieve the convention points for winner's dinner. She's so close. I love that you included a convention contest goal. Kimberly says 6 level 1s. Are you going for the stimulus bonus? I hope. Nancy says re-rank Ruby, find 6 level 1s by doing 3 new reach outs a day and following up on prospects. Ooh, I love that you're putting in your actions that you're going to do every day. Help 2 of those go silver. Find 1 level 1 in Mexico. My gosh, my dog, I'm so sorry. Shh, Cosette, no. By talking to my friends who have ties in Mexico and help them go silver, my team will add 150 points to make her senior Ruby. That's awesome, Nancy. Leah says, my goals are to re-rank senior gold, send out 10 messages of connection and love every day, Monday through Friday, 3 asks a day, Monday through Friday, 3 enrollments, 1 silver. I love how specific and detailed the goals are getting. If you want to add, oh, I'm glad you guys can't hear the dog because I'm like feeling like that's all you guys are hearing. So as you're writing your goals and you're seeing some of these other people get really specific in their goals, you might want to go back and write down how are you going to do that, right? Because that's the next step here. So if I want Sean's team to grow by 1,800 points, what goals do I need to help my leaders achieve to see that happen? So whether you're trying to rank gold, re-rank senior gold, or create new silvers, what we have to do is match out what you're going to do to achieve that. So in my planner here, it has that goal one, but then on the side, it says to do. So what I have is my goals here, and next to every single goal that I have, I'm gonna come on this side and I'm gonna write what I have to do to get it. So you might need to pull open your back office to really know and set goals here, right? For example, when I look at, I want to have a 250 point jump on my team, I need to be thinking, okay, what leaders are there? Dory, Melanie, Katie, Leah, right? So list out your leaders that you know are engaged and motivated to work with you, that they have goals of their own. And then instead of saying, Dory, I'm gonna need you to grow by 100 points this month so I can make my goal, okay? That's your job, get working, right? Like that's what a less experienced leader might find themselves doing. I have been in those shoes before, so I know how that feels, okay? No judgment and shame, it's just sort of how sometimes a newer leader might feel that's how you goal set. It's like, okay, well, I can get 100 points from her and no, let's talk about, Dory, what do you want to achieve this month? So Dory wants to re-rank Ruby. And Dory, are you comfortable sharing where you ended last month? Oh, you're muted.
I think I was 80 points short of re-ranking, maybe not quite 80.
So if you,
I know I was 79.
perfect. So what you do in this case, you guys, is when you're talking with a leader that you know is engaged, like this is someone that's working their business, they're motivated, they have goals, they want to work. What you do is you go to your back office, you click on points and rank, and then you type in that leader's name, first or last name, and then you pull up their account and there's a drop down box. I don't want to show you Dory's back office because this is recorded, right? But it'll take you to her dashboard, and then there's a drop down box in the right hand corner that says April 2020. That's because you're looking at this month. When you click on that drop down box, you can select March 2020 and it tells you what their stats were last month. So Dory ended at 431, okay? So that means that she would need to grow by about 70 points this month if everybody ordered last month, right? So Dory, that's great. Dory re-hitting that rank is 70 points. So of my 250, 70 of them are gonna count on me helping Dory grow by 70 points. So I'm gonna say, Dory, who on your team do you think you can get to silver this month? And I'm writing these things down on my goal sheets because even though they're Dory's goals, they're my goals too as her leader to help support her and check in on her and how she's doing with this. And can I get on a Zoom call with one of her new level ones? And can we do a little virtual event? And could we get someone into a 3-day challenge? Like, you have to be thinking about these things as their leader to help support them, guide them, follow up with them. Yes? Okay, so Dory, who could, oh, I clicked on, Chantel, I clicked on points and rank, and then I typed her name into the search bar to bring up, and then I click on the plus sign and then view team, and then it shows me her dashboard. And there's a drop down box in the right hand corner that you can select each month, and you can look at your leaders for the last like 2 years. You can look at their back office for years and years and years, and you can see what their points were every single month, and you can see the trend. This is also, as a leader, how I figure out if I'm not growing or if I've lost points. I can literally identify what team it's coming from and then take accountability for that as a leader, right? Because the one thing you need to always know as a leader is it's nobody's fault but your own, right? You can't blame anybody but yourself, even though it's a team effort and whatever. But like, what can you do to become a better leader to see more growth on your team? You becoming a better leader will always equate, you can hear the dog, Katie, it will always equate, you becoming a better leader will always equate to you having more points in your back office, period, end of story. Look, Cosette just needs to be scratched and then she'll be okay. It's okay, I know. Okay, so Dory, do you have an idea of the people that you have in mind to get to silver, super silver, gold, any of those things? Who would that be?
Amy, I could get Amy to silver. All she needs is one more.
Okay.
And I was looking at hers, and I know her mom has a couple $100 that she's ordering. So I'm gonna see what if she can't, separate it out and sign
Maybe
some.
sign up husband or something.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that I can get my niece started a little bit more.
Okay.
She's my level 2.
Okay.
So I'll have to work with her a little bit more. And then I have one that I'm trying to bring on as a level 1 that I think I know has the potential.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of I need to be the closer and get it done. So you might have to help me with that one.
We could do a 3-way message or a Zoom call. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so what I want you to really do here when you're working with leaders is map out, okay, if they added 6 people to my team this month, that would give me 6 times 5 is 30. Is that right? Yes, Cosette, no. Oh my gosh, you guys. That would give you 30 points, right? So for Dory to help 2 people go silver, if they each enroll 3 people, that would be 30 points of her 70, right? So then we say, Dory, where are the other 40 points gonna come from? Well, she's gonna sponsor this many. She's gonna help so-and-so fall in love with one more product because all they ever do is order Slim. Is this sort of making sense, guys, about how you make the mathematical part of it line up?
And I'm gonna work my white lines.
Mm-hmm. And get them, so you could be reaching out about perks points because we don't just want them to order, we want them to order and turn their subscription on, right? So we're really gonna focus on being accountable to the growth, Cosette, being accountable to the growth that we want, and then being accountable for where every 5 points is gonna come from. Whether it's you enrolling someone and getting them to silver so that you can have 20 new points on your team, right? Because if you sign a brand new person up and you help them get 3 people, you have added 20 points to your team immediately. And then you do it again, enroll someone else, get them silver. Now you have 40 points on your team. But it's not always about enroll, right? Like I did that for a long time. And what happens is if all you're doing is enrolling and you're not developing leaders from those enrollments, then you're spinning your wheels like a gerbil wheel, going nowhere fast most of the time, right? Because we always want to multiply. Okay? So next up, is everyone clear about that? Before we move on, you've written down your personal goals, but now what I want you to do is write down some team goals. So think about who has ever ranked silver before. Maybe they've ranked silver and they've lost rank. Could you reach out to them today and say, hey, oh my gosh, have you heard about the stimulus program yet? This is something that I did on Friday and have a new leader who is re-engaging because of that message. Because I said, hey, I know you used to be gold. Do you have any fire in you to do plexus again? Because if so, I would love to do this with you. And she was like, yes, I'm ready. Let's do this. Right? So look at your back office, and the way that you can find people who were silver before is you can go to your back office, sit. So you can go to your back office and in points and rank, so my dashboard, points and rank, and then you're gonna click on achieved rank twice. And that's gonna show your highest ranked ambassadors from top to bottom that have ever ranked on your whole team. And in the column next to achieved rank, there is a column called paid rank. If the two don't match, it means they're not holding their rank, and there's room for you to go in and help them rebuild. Okay, so for example, if you have someone that's showing senior ambassador in the paid rank, but in the achieved rank it shows silver, then you know that that person went from having 3 people ordering to 2. Or if it just says associate, or it might say silver ambassador is their achieved rank, or is their paid rank, but gold is their achieved rank. So that means they were gold ambassador that's fallen back to silver. So you want to help them re-rank. And how do we rebuild? How do we rebuild to gold? Silvers and super silvers. That's the way, right? So always start at the foundation of silver. So when you go in there, you can look and you can see, oh man, like if you're gold ambassador, you can look through and you could be like, oh man, I've had 3 people on my team hit silver at some point. I need to reach out to those 3 people and see if they'd be interested in regaining silver this month. I love my kids. I love having them home all day right now so much. Sweet.
That must have been a little stern because you muted yourself.
I did. I told her she was not getting her $5. We'll try again tomorrow with that. Clearly, money is not her motivator. Okay, so when you are doing this, you're going to look and you're going to see who's lost rank on your team. You're going to reach out to them and just say, hey, I know that you had a business in Plexus before, and that that looks like some other things are priority now. Would you have any desire to make anywhere from $275 to $600 extra this month? Would you want to hear more about that? Right? You're just going fishing. So that's a message that you can send out. You can rewatch this video back to get that exact verbiage. But you can send out a message like that to anyone on your team who has been a rank and fell back. Okay? And the reason why I like using the verbiage, I know this has become less of a priority to you, but just wondering if you'd be interested just this month in making an extra $275 to $600 with the Plexus stimulus package. Would you be interested in hearing any more about that? Right? And then they can just very easily say, it's just not a priority in my life right now, but thanks so much for reaching out. Or they can say, I'm actually really interested to hear more. Okay. And at that point, you can say to them, well, this is what it would look like. You would send 3 messages a day. I would give you the message. And anytime that you got a response to the message, you could start a 3-way message with you, me, and that person. And together, we would help get that person started or restarted. What do you think? And then they'll be like, yeah, I could probably do that. Right? So you're showing them how easy it would be without saying, you know, like, well, we're going to do 75 things. You just give them their first step. Well, all you would do is you would send out a message, 3 a day, and I would give you the message. And then if anyone responded to the message, you would put them in a 3-way message with me, and I would help you get them started or restarted. That sounds simple enough, right? So going back to when you look at your goal, for example, Jossie said she wants to end the month at 115 points, okay? That will be a 25-point gain for her. So how is she gonna do that? Well, getting Sabrina to super silver is the best, fastest way to that solution in my eyes, right? Sabrina is her brand new fast start silver. She has 4 people on her team. If Jossie is able to help her go super silver, she is slam dunk gonna hit that goal and 5 points more. So if all Jossie does in the month of April, if every single 3-day challenge, Thursday night business call, team call, power hour Zoom, if everything that she does is focused on achieving Sabrina to get to super silver, and like, she'll hit her goal. Boom, done. So when she sits down to work, what are her actions gonna look like to achieve that goal? Well, it's gonna be like her brainstorming ideas with Sabrina. Is she gonna maybe do a weekly power hour with Sabrina? Maybe Sabrina isn't moving as fast as she wants to be moving. I don't know, because the month hasn't started yet. But if it's not, then that's where Jossie's gonna have to be like, well, I'm still gonna work with Sabrina, even though nothing's coming in, but in the meantime, I'm also gonna have to be pumping up the pace with my personal enrollments. So when she sits down to work, she's either supporting, helping, brainstorming with Sabrina on how to get 6 people to join her team, or Jossie is figuring out how to get 6 people from somewhere else on her team. Whether it's her personal enrollments, helping her mom go super silver, because her mom is a silver on her team. It's always like, what can you do? What can you grab? What can you be open to receive, no matter where it comes from? Like, I know I have to get 250 points from somewhere this month to achieve my goal. So is it going to be from personal enrollments, white lines, from helping Katie grow by 100 points, helping Melanie grow by 50 points, helping Jossie grow by her 30 points? Where's it gonna come from? Probably not as clear cut and black and white as I want it to be, but I'm just gonna lean in every day to try to support those people that I know have goals to achieve, right? Any questions so far on any of this? Is this helpful? Are you having aha moments? Are you overwhelmed? Like, what are you experiencing right now? Super helpful. That's good. You love this. Okay, good. You can give me negative feedback too. I love to be able to clarify things if it's not coming out the right way. Okay. Oh, it's super scary. Like, if your goals don't scare you, they're not good enough. Okay, that's the biggest thing here that I really want to get across. If your goals, if you're like, yeah, I could do that easy, then it doesn't count, right? Okay, so look at your goals that you've written down. No, you can't, you're probably not gonna grow by 1,000 points this month, Katie, but that is real cute. Janelle, thanks for being here with us. I know you have to go. Okay, now if you had an emerald team, an emerald sapphire, probably a diamond team in momentum with like 7 people that wanted to all rank up in 1 month, you could do 1,000 point growth. That is achievable. We have done it before, but again, it has to be 5, 6, 7 team leaders that are all hungry to hit a goal. Because when you have people that are hungry to hit a goal, it creates this momentum that just the points go, because a lot of people are doing a lot of little things, all right? So we've written down our personal goals. You've started to think about the people on your team who might also be interested in writing down some personal goals. It's your job as a leader to get on the phone with your leaders to help influence them to make goals that will help them meet their potential, right? So after this call, one of your action steps is going to be writing down your list of leaders, getting on the phone or doing voice messages or doing a Zoom, something like that, where you're going to discuss their goals face to face and you're going to help them make achievable goals. For example, if you have a gold ambassador that says, I want to be Ruby this month, you're going to say, okay, let me do some quick numbers for you. So right now you have 20 people ordering on your team, and you, to be Ruby, you would need 80 more people to join your team this month for you to hit Ruby. Where do you think you are going to get those 80? Do you think that's achievable? And they're going to be like, no, probably not. And then you'd be like, that's okay. How many people do you think you could personally add this month? And they say, well, probably 5. And you say, okay, 5. How many of those are you going to get to silver? Oh, probably 3. Okay. So with your 5 and 3 people going silver, that would give you another 9. That's going to be 14 people that are added to your team. So if you want to add 14 people to your team this month, that is going to help you end at 170 points. Do you want to hit that goal, or do you want to try and go for like hitting 200 point club, right? Sometimes if there's not a rank at a goal that somebody wants to hit, you get to make up an invisible point club. Okay, like the 1,000 point club. Brooke and I have made that rank up. When you hit the 1,000 point club, you get $500 cash from me. Did you know that? If you're on Brooke's team, you get $500 cash for her. It's right in the middle of Senior Ruby and Emerald. So what could you do for someone who's trying to get to Senior Gold and they're just sort of like teetering between Gold and Senior Gold? Well, you could say, you know, like if you hit the 200 point club, you're going to get a $50 cash bonus from me, right? Because you're going to make that money back anyway in the points that they're bringing to your team. Okay. And it's going to motivate them. Or maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want a pedicure when all this virus stuff is over. So think of something that would be something that they would really like. Clearly, Mackenzie and the $5 was not motivating to her, right? But hindsight, I'm like, shoot, I should have told her that she could have opened one of her Amazon boxes if she didn't come in and bother me during the meeting. I guarantee she would have stayed out of here had I had the right motivator for her. So a lot of times as a leader, we don't know what motivates our people, and we hit it, we miss it. We miss the motivator, and all that is it's an opportunity for you to learn, right? And so you go, that didn't work for her. I wonder what could work for her next time. Reevaluate, right? Oh, yeah, that was a duh for me. I knew that, Dory. Okay, so now, yes, I should thank my daughter for helping this teaching moment here. Yes, you're right, Kimberly. So again, I learned something about my daughter today, right? That really money is not her motivator right now. She could care less because she knows she can't go out and spend it, right? I can give her $5, but what's she gonna do with it? But she's been begging me for days to open this package because there's this little like safe, like a little digital safe that we bought for her from Justice. And I just haven't gotten around to opening it yet because Dean broke her original one. Anyway, the point is, if you find the right motivator for your people, then they'll achieve their potential in a bigger way. Okay. And if there's anything that I've learned over the last 4.5 years, it's that I have more joy and more satisfaction from watching my leaders hit their goals than any goal I've ever hit. Because it doesn't matter how big of a goal you hit yourself, the longer you're in this as a leader, the more you're like, man, that's nice, but like, I really just want to see so-and-so rank up, or I really want to see her on the leaders board, or I really want to see her get the biggest paycheck of her life. Because it just is so rewarding to teach someone and develop someone to do something that they never thought they could do, right? You will have such a deeper sense of satisfaction when you do it that way. Okay, so you've written down your personal goals. You've written down people that you might need to reach out to. Utilize your back office for this. When I'm looking at the beginning of the month, this is a system that I have done for pretty much my entire Plexus career, with the exception of like a year off that I took, and my team suffered because of that, because I wasn't doing this system for about a year. It's still fine, but like it does better when I do this system, which is I go into my back office, I click on points and rank, I type in their name, I pull up view team, I look at their team, I look at how many points they had last month. I reach out to them and ask what their goals are for this month. Sometimes they say, I really don't have a goal, this is not my priority. And then I'm like, okay, I'm so happy to support you in that. Right? Like, it's so hard, but sometimes like we just don't have control over that, right? And this is a volunteer service army. That's what it is, right? So reach out to that person, see if they're interested in creating a goal with you. If they are, yay, then you can make a plan with silvers and super silvers and personal enrollments to help them get the points that they need to hit that goal. Always break down goals with ranks. Silvers, super silvers, golds. If you break down 100 points of growth or 200 points of growth, if you break it down into, well, if so-and-so goes gold by developing so-and-so to super silver, then she will hit her goal. If you start looking at your goals and your team as, if I help her develop those people, she will achieve this and I will achieve this. If you put the focus on developing her team and her leaders, you will have better growth on your team than you could ever imagine. Your points will go forward in monumental ways because it's not about you, it's about them, right? So make sure you're breaking things down into silvers, super silvers, and golds. Even if you're going for emerald, you want to be breaking things down into silvers, super silvers, gold, maybe a senior gold, maybe a ruby. But if you're developing a ruby, what's underneath a ruby? Chunks of golds and silvers, and maybe a senior gold, right? So it always goes back to the basics of, who are you getting to silver? Who are you getting to super silver? And in the process of getting people to silver and super silver, that's where you find your goals. Not golds, not goals, golds, gold ambassadors. Yes? You're with me on this? Okay. So, last thing. This is the most important part. What you do when you sit down to work must be in line with your goals, or none of this matters. Okay? So, if my goal is to get Sean's team to 250 points, and I don't touch base with Dory for the first week of the month, that's on me. Because as a leader, I'm not being accountable to the growth that I know she wants to have happen and I want to have happen. Kara is one of the people on our team that I see do this really well when she has a goal, and Katie too. Katie Shoemaker is also, which is interesting because they both sort of have that same like Excel brain, right? And I know there's lots of other people like that too, but those two I've seen recently hit their goals because they make a chart and they map it all out, right? So they're like, Kara is senior gold, or Katie wins Kona, right? And then on there, she writes out like people's names. Like if I get her, 3 people. So write her name and then 3 blanks. write their name and then 3 blanks, write their name and then 3 blanks. And then as they do it, they fill it in. But it's like a sign in their house that's staring at them saying, fill me in, fill me in, fill me in. And you have to be accountable to it every single day. You can't just ignore it and be like, oh, another day's gone by. I'll talk to Dory tomorrow. Well, I mean, she's golfing. She looks like she's having a great time, like riding her bike, golfing. Like, I don't want to bother her, right? But Dory told me what she wanted to achieve this month. So now as her leader, I am accountable to helping her do that. And I'm not like riding her like a dog, like, Dory, did you get your work done today? How come you're not growing? No, like that's not the type of leadership that we're looking for here. We're like, Dory, hey, I was thinking we'd have so much fun like doing some Zoom calls. Do you think you could set up a couple of Zoom calls for us this week that I could put on my calendar? Is there anyone that you could invite to just get on a call with you and me? We could share our stories. We could answer questions. Maybe they want to sign up after. Is there anyone that we could do that with? And then Dory could be like, yeah, let me check, right? So I'm the leader that is planting the seed. And whether Dory waters it or not is her choice. But I am the leader who's planting the seed in her mind. I'm giving her direction for how I think we could achieve her goals this week. Also, I might be saying to her, I know you have a goal to personally sponsor 3 this month. Have you reached out to anyone about the 3-day challenge next week? She can be like, oh, I've been meaning to. And I'm like, hey, if I gave you a message right now, would you send it to 10 people? Yeah, I could do that. Okay, let me give you the message. And then I send her the message. I'm like, will you tell me when that's done, when you've done those 10 people? And then she sends it back. Did it, done, perfect. That's what people need from you as their leader. They don't just need you to throw $20 at them and say, go sign people up, here's a $20 incentive. And while that works, and while I do that, and while you should do that, those things are all good. You see me do that all the time. I'm not saying that's bad or that's wrong. Those are all effective leadership things. But it's the direct messaging behind that. Like when I sometimes will put a sale out on the graphics and nobody even gives it like a thumbs up or a like or whatever, I'm always like, that didn't work the way I wanted it to work. Right? And so then I can either, as a leader, I can be like, oh, I don't have a team. I've got no leaders, no team, nobody's working but me, right? You can sit in that space, or you can be like, I'm going to have to message them. I'm going to have to direct message them. I'm going to have to be like, hey, Gigi, where you at, girl? What's up? How you doing? I'm doing this sale. You interested? You in? You want to work with me? You want to set up some Zooms? And see, why don't we do that as a leader? Why don't we take that extra step? Because we are scared of being shut down, right? We don't want to bother people. Again, why it's so important on day 1 of the month to identify who wants to grow at the beginning of the month. Because then at the end of the month, you're not frustrated that nobody worked. You already knew, oh, she wasn't going to work. It was never her goal to work. So you know you're working with the right people when you find out at the first of the month who wants to work with you. And it will change every single month. Some people will be steady and consistent with you the entire time. And then other people will work in seasons. They'll be like summer workers or fall workers or winter workers, or they only work when there's a week left in the contest. Like, there's so many different personalities, and some people are just steady and consistent, and other people are impulsive and sprinters. We love them all. We have room for them all, but you as a leader identifying at the beginning of the month who is interested in growing as a leader at the beginning of the month will cause you less frustration over time, because then you will know who to reach out to when you go to work. You will know how to match up your actions. If your goal is to personally sponsor 3 this month, that means that you need to be sending out messages when you sit down to work to get the exposure process happening. Are you being accountable to that? That's what you have to ask yourself. That's what you got to ask yourself is, this is my goal. Are my actions in line with my goal? And if they're not, then just tomorrow's a new day. Today's a new day. You could start right now, right? So Okay, make sure that if your goal is to enroll 3 people, you don't let a week go by where you're not inviting to a 3-day challenge. If your goal is to get a new silver, don't let a week go by where you're not at least trying to get them onto a business call on Thursday night or onto a Zoom or in a 3-way chat with your closest upline working sponsor. Every single day, make that your focus. This is, again, why it's so important to write down your goals. If Jossie wants to get Sabrina to Super Silver and that's her goal for this month, then every single day at the top of her calendar is, what actions can I take today to help Sabrina get 1? Can I plant a seed to get her to start a 3-way message? Can I challenge her to send 10 messages? Can I invite her to share her story on the team page? Can I? Be creative. Think of things that you can do that is spoon feeding them to just do one little thing that might go. Poof. Any questions? Yes, chatting with people at the track this morning counts as long as you got their contact information and can follow up with them. Okay, then it doesn't count. Any other questions, clarifications before we end? It only sounds easy because I practice this every day that I come to work, right? The more you do it, the better you get. Dory, you make going to Orange Theory look easy. I'm like, I see you at the end of an Orange Theory workout and like the burn and the calories, and I'm like, I could totally do that. And then I start running a half mile and I'm like, I'm gonna die, right? But Dory made it so easy because Dory does it every day. So the more that you do it a little bit every single day, the better you get. Katie says, can you tell me the motivators out there, like money, trips, and prizes? It's different for everyone. For me, the motivation is usually to the prizes. I like to win the prizes. This is gonna sound so crazy. I don't usually look forward to going on the trips. I just wanna win the prize. Now, I can judge myself for that. I can look down on myself for that, or I can be like, that's so interesting. So interesting. Like so Dory says, money is not big on my team, but she's working on a retreat. So they like the community. You think the community and those types of things is what they like to work for. Yeah. Recognition is huge. Yeah, for me, recognition is huge. Now, it's easy to judge people on what motivates them, or you can just accept and own what motivates you and lean into that with awareness for others in that process, right? So I know that I have to have something really good to motivate me to win. I will work harder if I am afraid that I won't win. So if there's a prize that I don't really care about, if it's something that I really don't want to do or win or earn, or if I think it's like not that great, I won't work for it. I'm like, I don't care. I legitimately don't care to win that. And because we don't even get to get on stage, if we do win it, then I don't want to do it. Like, this is what goes through my head. And the reason why I share this with you is that might not be how your brain works, but your brain works a different way, and you need to identify what it is and harness it, right? Like a text message that I sent to Alec and Tarl in the past is I said, okay, if I get in the top 50, are you going to put the top 50 on stage? And they said no. And I said, I'm probably not going to work for it then. And I didn't say it in a way that was like callous or egotistical or I'm too good for that. I just said, I was like, if the top 50 are put on stage and it's going to be noticed that I was not in the top 50, then I will work harder. Because no, it's my pride, right? It's my pride. It's because it's something that I'm constantly working on, but it's something that I stand in fascination and curiosity of myself, knowing that that's what motivates me, right? So the reason why I share this with you is so that you can figure out in yourself what will motivate you to get outside your comfort zone and try when you don't feel like it. Right? So when they were like this year, when they're like, okay, the top 20 will get this. And I said, but will they be on stage? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay, that puts pressure on me to perform. So because now you can let it destroy you emotionally and ruin you to win and care nothing about winning, or you can just let it be a healthy anxiety and say, okay, make peace with it, but grow personally through it. Is this making any sense? Because there's such a difference of like winning in a healthy way and winning in an unhealthy way. And I spent a lot of years winning in an unhealthy way that destroyed me emotionally and mentally. But the better you get at harnessing yourself and what motivates you, you can do it in a healthy way. Now, when I try to give my best, it's not because I want to beat everybody else. It's because I want to see everybody on my team reach their highest potential. The difference is totally different now. I hope this makes sense. Okay. And to not feel shame if you have a similar personality to mine. And if you don't, I want you to know you can still achieve these things. You have to harness in to what your core motive is. That's the biggest difference, is harness your core motive without shame and guilt. If your core motive is you want to win the prize, like Kara bought herself a bed set when she went senior gold. So that's another thing that's really great. If the trips and the prizes and the money don't motivate you, then what will you do for yourself when you achieve your goal? Brooke does that too. She'll be like, okay, I remember when we were like going through the ranks, like senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, at every single rank, she was like, yeah, we took the kids out for dinner. We said when mom hits ruby, we were going to go to this favorite restaurant. And so I remember when our team hit, like, I think when we hit ruby, we took the kids to classic skating and we celebrated as a family. So if the prizes and the money are not something that motivate you, what could you reward yourself with when you achieve that goal that would be really meaningful to you? Write that down. Okay, so just so you're clear, let's see, Dory says she's gonna buy a nice new bike, but she couldn't bring herself to do it, so she's gonna save that for Emerald. I love that! That is so awesome. I love that so much. What are you gonna do for yourself at Senior Ruby though? We've gotta have a stepping stone on the way, right? So think about, what are you gonna do for yourself when you achieve Senior Ruby? What are you gonna do for yourself this month when you re-rank Ruby? What are you and Robert gonna go do to make it special, meaningful, right? So action step for the next 72 hours. First things first, I want you to write your goals down and put them somewhere where you see them every day. So write them down, your personal goals, your team goals, and then the action steps that you have to take every day consistently that are in line with those goals. And no matter how many kids you're homeschooling, how many hours you work in your other jobs, how many things are overwhelming you right now, none of that gets to be an excuse, because you wrote down your goals and you wrote down the actions you'd have to take every single day in April to achieve them. And it doesn't matter if your upline offends you or hurts your feelings or somebody leaves you out or you didn't get a yes or whatever. None of those things get to get in your way, because you know what your goals are, what your actions are, and what you need to achieve, and work every single day this month in pursuit of that. And I promise you that whether or not you make your goal at the end of the month, you will be a different person. And as you do this month after month after month, your points will start to grow, and they will get bigger, because you will change. You will attract different people. You will do a better job of developing leaders. You will do a better job of developing yourself. Be consistent. Make sure your actions are in line with your goals. And at the end of the month, look back and see how you're better than you were before and celebrate that no matter what. Okay? Thanks for being with us here today, you guys. I hope that this was helpful. Again, please put your goals up somewhere. Take a picture and put them in the threads so we can all see that you're doing this. When I ask people to do this, usually like one person does it. How badly do you want your goals? Badly enough to actually do this and write it down, even though you don't want to and it's uncomfortable? You will be like over 80% more likely to hit your goals if you write them down. So if you don't write them down, then it's very unlikely that you will achieve your goals this month. And that's the lesson I had to learn the hard way, is when things got hard and they weren't just naturally easy for me, I stopped moving forward and I stopped growing. And that's when I realized I better write the stupid goals down. And that's when I went through like 6 months of writing goals down that I knew I was going to get. So it didn't really matter because I knew I would be successful at them. And then I started learning, all right, I better write down something that is going to actually make me work and changes the person, right? Okay, guys, thanks for being with us here. See you later.
Really?
Yeah.